Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. So let's just dive into it. I've got this more or less just a poster made up just to, give everybody a visual image of what we're going to be talking about here and to really get it in a kind of acceptable format that people can understand regardless of what understanding you have. I really feel like this dulls my idea down. It's more than an idea, it's really me belittling it, saying it's an idea. Spoken about this for some time, getting anywhere by asking people, it doesn't happen often. This is going to be something we're going to have to take under the belt here at HCC, and we're going to have to develop a module for this. We're going to have to work with people to get this put forward, get the agoras put forward, and then eventually, once we've got the module ready, get the proposal put up and get it put forward to the community and allow the community to vote and simply decide if they would like to implement this module once we obviously have it working. So I'm naming this the LUNCburn Goldilocks module. The reason why is everybody understands the porridge analogy. It's really simple of finding really that sweet spot with the burn tax, and there is a sweet spot, trust me. The thing is, right, we're always going to want to change it. When times are going to be going really good and we can go over to the price system, we can look at the chart and we can go onto a daily and we can ask ourselves, we should be better harnessing the systems around us. The Shanghai upgrade really is a good example of what I'm getting at here. But there's times when we're up and there is times when we are down. We need to incentivize trading as much as possible in these times when we are down. That's so important. But like I was saying, right, everyone will always want to change the ban tax. At some point, people want it to go down or people want it to go up. This is the whole point of having a smart tax system that changes. It doesn't require anybody to change it, but it changes with volume triggers. And the way that you can do this is, there's many ways to more or less go down this route. And looking into it and taking a deeper dive into it and understanding it better, this is definitely something that we can do here at the HCC factory. And, there's going to be 3 phases, and this is me really dulling this down. There's going to be a lot of phases in this, but the main phases that you'll see as a community looking at this will be phase 1 for us to develop the module. Phase 2 will be for us to deploy it on chain, and I'll explain why. And then phase 3 will be eventually getting it deployed off chain, which, it shouldn't be hard, but ultimately, there's so many different ins and outs that comes with this. You've really got to play devil's advocate, I think is a good word for this. So the method for measuring off-chain volume using data from exchanges would realistically need a real careful design. Exchanges, they do vary in size, they vary in liquidity, they vary in the amounts of trading that they handle independently. So a volume metric would need to really consider all of those differences. So there are ways that you could more or less go about handling this, and it's all through building the framework, data collection, normalization of data. And so, in other words, for each exchange to calculate more or less the average and standard deviation of this kind of volume over some period, the Express, it would need to, the current volume is a standard number of measurement, the deviations below and above the average, it would give the measurement that reflects how unusual the current volume is for each exchange, because we all know how Binance's liquidity is very unusual, the way they handle transactions and stuff like that. So more or less what I'm saying, there's a lot that goes into this, and there's a lots of ins and outs. We need to ensure that we're not creating a opportunity for manipulation on any level. That's very important. We don't create half-assed projects here. We normally come up with the full ticket. So, if we're taking this under our belt, it's quite serious for us. So this is going to be really good. The reason why I think this is really good, like I was saying, because we're always going to want to change it when, we do another 13x like we've done before. Everybody saw it happen. You're going to want to see a heavier burn tax. If people are doing a lot of trading, you're going to want to see a heavier burn tax, and you're going to want to cap that out. So you're going to want to have a high range cap and a low range cap, 0.2 to 1.2%. Obviously, the community could decide to have completely different ranges, and they would be able to change this via either a text proposal, but the likelihood is you'd be able to do it through a change proposal that kind of route. It really will be a module that once you create it and put it into the UIT hub, anybody would then be able to in the future actually harness this module, kind of like other modules like Tendermint, how Tendermint's harnessed. So, you know, ultimately we could develop this module, and then, you know, other blockchains could decide to harness this. So for example, coins like Pepe, Elmo, all of those different kind of coins that burn SHIB, all of the different kinds of coins that burn could actually utilize a module like this if they're not utilizing it already. So deploying it on chain, right? This is going to be probably the biggest feat out of everything, because when you develop a module like this, you need to test it in the testnet. It really is that simple. It's going to need a lot of ins and outs. It's going to need a lot of checks. You're going to need to go through the risk. Like I said, there's going to be pros, there's going to be cons, and some of the pros to this is, you know, it's flexible, okay, and you know it brings a level of stability even further to the blockchain of not having all of these different changes going on all the time, but instead just having a smart tax that actually handles itself accordingly. So originally I thought to myself, you know, you could bounce this off of epochs, but what you want to aim for with a module is like with this is, you know, it needs to happen daily. If not, say like every 6 hours, there should be a status check of on-chain volume to see if the trigger ranges have been breached, or, you know, where it's at and where it needs to be, kind of thing. Really smart system. And like I was saying, we've changed the burn tax so many times, and we know it's good for sentiment. And that's why, like, having this kind of system, right? Everybody would get hyped up because all of a sudden, you know, oh, our volume's kicking up. Guys, the burns are kicking up, you know. People going, they're looking at the daily burn volume and thinking to themselves, wow, you know, we've had a lot of transactions today. And guess what? We utilized those transactions and harnessed the burn power in them as best as we could. No one can argue about it. No one can bicker and say, oh, you know, we should be at 1% during these times. Or we should change to 0.4%. No, let's get a smart tax system. Let's get it in place. And I've spoken about it for so long now here on the channel. And I've had the nod from the L1 team a few times, but recently they've come back to me about it. And I just feel like the best way to get this done is to just, you know, go head on it with myself and ultimately start telling the community that this is something that's going to be happening. It's going to be developed, and, you know, we'd like to gauge sentiment from the community now before we get to an Agora stage, so we can work out the irons and the kinks and get all the pros and cons figured out before we get to an Agora stage and get to a proposal stage. Because ultimately, like I was saying, playing devil's advocate's not the easiest thing to do when you're creating something like this. A lot of the time you get good feedback from people in the community. So getting comments and responses from people on this is going to be so important. And one of the biggest things to take away from this, right, is the power that this could have in the blockchain for burning. Okay, we could really burn through a serious amount of coins when whales are making big moves, because guess what? When do whales make the biggest moves? Oh, right, when prices are really high, because that's when they sell. So yeah, we should have a 1.2% burn tax when, you know, times are really good. We've got whales that want to sell and want to pull out. Cool. You get hit with a 1.2% burn tax because, you know, the volume's up. We're interesting. We got things going on, because you can't rely on these kind of big players to just, you know, act in good faith and be the best person they can be. This is crypto. This is making money. This is what they're here for. They're going to try and do whatever they can to avoid it. And, you know, they're not going to buy low and sell low. They're going to buy low and they're going to sell high. And I feel like it will work out really good. But, you know, getting it off chain is going to be an even bigger feat, I would probably think. But ultimately, it's not something that we need the exchanges to go give us the nod for, or say, you know, yeah, cool, we can do that, because we all know that we can already have consistently a burn tax in place that happens on withdrawals and deposits. It's impossible for people to avoid those. So that's always happening regardless if they support us or not, because they have to use our wallet system on those exchanges. Yeah, just because you're on an exchange doesn't mean that you're not using a Terra wallet. If you're holding LUNC or USTC, you're using a Terra wallet, okay? So they have no choice with withdrawals and deposits for burning. So like I was saying, phase 3 is not going to be hard because we need to get the exchanges to agree, because this is not the case. It's just going to be hard because we need to garner the correct, case study information. We need to go through all the pros, go through all the cons. But, I feel like this is a really good video to get out there on a Wednesday, starting to really think about this burn situation around myself, what's going on. And, there's been a change to the project LUNCburn, and everything like that. I'm getting out another video later on today, so do keep an eye out for that one. That has a phase 2, and I'm going to be discussing it in that video to show people that this little project actually has huge potential, and just getting it to where it needs to be. Once we do that, we're all going to be giggling, because the joke is, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, I don't create half-assed projects. I have plans, I have visions, and there's always these different things going on in my head. Everything I'm working on externally, project-wise, is to do with burning LUNC, and I think that's what the community wants, and not just the community, but I want to see it, because the times where we were burning, we were churning through lots of coins, the price was going up, we were doing really good. It brings more people in, more unique holders, which is so important for our blockchain. And I've seen the comments of people, they're just digging at these other burn projects. I'm simply just telling things for how they are. I'm a realist, not someone that sits there and gets soaked up in all of the different things. I simply step back and look at things for exactly what they are. It's not a dig, okay? More than likely, I've covered all of these projects. Oh, and guess what? I've offered, all of them podcasts, and same as always. Never want to take the podcasts, so it's always something to absorb. But everybody's welcome to burn. All burns are good. I'm never, ever going to be against burns, and that's why I'm bringing this Goldilocks module forward. Going to be really interesting going over the next few days, weeks, getting this all together and getting it ready. But like I said, garnering support now, really early, and getting the community to understand and to try and get this poster out there, get this shown around, and get people to understand. I have no doubt that the likelihood, whilst we're developing it, someone else is going to try and jump on this idea. They're going to jump on this bandwagon, and they're going to rebrand this idea. I know the risk that I'm taking, but ultimately I've got the video, I've got the proof. This stems back ages. I've put up agoras with it included in before. So yeah, it's really sad to see people replicating my ProjectLUNCBurn system, and trying to come up with these NFT projects that burn. I get it, everybody's entitled to do it, but I mean, come on, man, we've created one. Let's get on it. Let's get support in. Let's get it shared, let's get it shown around, let's get these really kind of easy things done of just simple likes, simple tweets, simple retweets, subs, comments, all of that kind of niche stuff that, YouTubers say. It really does help us out. Folks, I hope this gets your day off to a kick. I hope you're having a nice week. I hope you're enjoying the summer weather that's come early, it seems, here in the UK. If you're not in the UK, I hope you're having a good time. And folks, if you're still listening at the end of this video, this is a little bit longer than normal. Really appreciate everybody that's here, everybody that supports, okay? When I moan and I say, I lack support and things like that, that's never aimed at anyone here. That's supporting, that's commenting, and doing all the things that you should do really as someone that's here and is a supporter, because like I was saying, those small things really do help out. But, like I was saying, it's not a dig at any of you folks. It's just me simply getting it out there that I need more support. We need to find more people and get more people involved in this community, and show that there are different kind of YouTubers out there. I'm not just a YouTuber, I'm a node operator, I'm a project creator, I'm a project supporter, I'm a site creator, module creator, algorithm developer. Our NFTs have the best staking in LUNC. No project can match it. I think the only project close that matches it has, only 7 people can claim their staking rewards at one time. They have to wait 21 days. With our NFTs, you can claim your rewards instantly, you can stake them instantly, and it only takes 3 days to unstake them if you want them unstaked. Folks, have a really nice day. Stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. If you haven't minted a ProjectLUNCBurn NFT, please have a look at that. Please try and get involved in that project if you want to see if it ever burn. And yeah, none of this was financial advice. I don't know if I said that already. It's all for educational purposes. It's early here in the morning. I'm going to work. Catch you in the next one. Ciao.